Hey everybody, this is Jessie. Doing something a little different this time. I know I haven't done a RoboPlay in a while, but I figured I had a rant and I want to do one of those wacky videos where there's crazy pictures all over the place and people are like, oh, that's kind of funny because that picture means what he's saying. Anyways, guys, you might know I'm a big MMO fan. I love playing MMOs. I'm an MMO junkie. I'm also relatively picky when it comes to MMOs. I can't just jump into any old MMO and start playing. It has to stick with me, both gameplay and the community. And I've played tons of them that just don't do that. There's been a few that stuck with me and whatnot, and I'm really looking forward to Star Wars: The Old Republic, obviously. But basically this rant is about MMOs, mainly the description of them, how many people will describe a massively multiplayer online role-playing game as either a sandbox or a theme park. This is very strange to me because these two descriptions don't tell you anything about the game at all. In fact, I would say one of them is rather insulting to the genre, and that's particularly sandbox. You know, when I was a kid and I played in a sandbox, I got stung by bees. That's terrible, especially when you're a kid and someone says, hey, you want to go play in the sandbox? No, you don't want to get stung by bees. But if your mom and dad say, hey, you want to go to a theme park? You're like, fuck yes, Disney World, and you got the mouse ears already. And, you know, theme parks are fun, you know. When was the last time you saw a Super Bowl winning quarterback look into the camera and say, I'm going to play in a sandbox? Nope, it's always Disneyland. You know why? Because Disneyland is a theme park. I mean, if I want to get sand in my butt, I'll go to the beach, which is much better than the sandbox. Another thing I've noticed is when you look at kids playing in the sandbox, generally it's like one or two by themselves, you know, and then a big bully comes over and kicks their sandcastle down and they cry, or they're getting stung by bees. Whenever you go to a theme park, it's usually you and a bunch of friends. You're having fun. You're eating good, delicious food. It's just a grand old time, you know. I will admit, though, if I make plans to go to a theme park, I'm not 100% excited. But when I'm there, I have a blast. You know, I might get sunburned, but usually I'm smart enough to put sunscreen on. But other than that, it's usually fun. I mean, you know, make sure you ride the water rides at certain times, that way you dry off better, but other than that, a theme park will always be more fun than a sandbox in those terms. So if you're going to describe an MMO, please do not use those terms, because that just tells me that if your game is a sandbox, that I do not want to play it because I don't want to get stung by bees. Really though, if someone comes up to you and they're like, hey man, I'm going to pay for your entire trip. Your weekend is all on me. It's all an expense paid. You get to stay either 4 days at any theme park in the world or 4 days at any sandbox. You know, I got a sandbox in my backyard. You know, my kids don't play in it. There might be some broken glass or something in it, which you will find in sandboxes. I've seen sandboxes with broken glass. Now, when you're building a big, nice sandcastle and you got half a Budweiser bottle stuck in your hand, that's not fun, you know? Because then you can't, you know, go home and play any other of your games because your hand's busted up. You can't jerk it unless you're, you know, multi-hand possible. I mean, it's just crazy. So, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to the theme park or are you going to go to the sandbox? You decide. Thank you for listening and watching these crazy pictures or whatever I compiled together in this RoboPlay, and we appreciate your continued support of RoboAwesome.com, and we'll see you next time. Keep playing.